Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Pointy Not Sharp. Today we're going to take a look at the Italian AR70 Bayonet. Now this bayonet is identical and for all intents and purposes is a BM59 bayonet. It's just been refurbished with plastic grips for the AR70. Now the bayonet was originally made by AET, which is the Turin Army Arsenal, as an M4 bayonet, and it was converted from an M4. I've got an M4 here for comparison actually. Converted from an M4 to the BM59 with the addition of the new crossguard, so much bigger muzzle ring, 22mm Stanag muzzle ring. And the BM59 bayonets retained this brown plastic grip that we have here. Now they were refurbished at the maintenance centre in Turney into the configuration that we have just here. So I'll jump into the history very quick. As I previously said, these were originally made for the BM59, and in 1972 Italy introduced the AR70/223, which was their first version of the AR70, and that was to supplement the existing BM59s in service. They used the same bayonet, and in 1985 they brought out a revised version of the AR70/223, which was the AR70/90. And essentially that adopted the new NATO standard 5.56mm cartridge, so they were all using 5.56, but there was a slightly new, slight update to the NATO cartridge, and the rifle was adapted to that new version of 5.56. And there were also a number of updates to the rifle to keep it up to date, because there were quite a few deficiencies with it. Now in 1990 the BM59 was phased or gradually phased out of service, and in 2008 the AR70s were starting to be replaced by the ARX160 rifle. And the ARX160 had a new bayonet, so this style of bayonet, whether you want to call it the BM59 or the AR70, was they're still in service today, but they started to bring the new rifles in with the Extrema Ratio Fulcrum bayonet, which is an extremely expensive and very, very nice bayonet. But all that aside, we'll jump into the construction of what we have here. So we have our M3 fighting knife style of blade with a long true edge and a half blade false edge. It's not sharpened, and it's got a nice dark grey phosphate finish. Then we have a nice big uniquely shaped crossguard. So this is uniquely shaped to Italy. You won't see this shape anywhere else. It's got that unique sort of bulge there, whether the US ones just have like a straight line going across. Then moving down to our grips, we've got our black plastic grips, and they're just retained by two screws. Now the serrations, or whatever you want to call it, the grip texture on this is very, very aggressive compared to similar bayonets like the M7 in use with the US. And finally, the pommel has our M4 style, and as you can see, it's also received a new phosphate finish, while these pieces here, what kind of finish is that? I think they've just been painted black. Quite nice. Then jumping down to the scabbard, it's a clone of a US M8A1 scabbard. But something I should point out is disregard. I had another BM59 out before, and it had a longer frog on it than this one here does, but this is identical to the M4 I've got, so I guess they haven't changed a terrible lot. But as you can see, we've got our one button in there, two buckles there. Well, they're not buckles, they're rivets really. Same with that one there. Hilt strap, and the whole thing's been painted in this olive green, so I don't know what's underneath that. I'm guessing this is metal chape and locket, and I'm assuming this is fiberglass like the US ones. In terms of markings, the markings on them are the same as on the original M4s. So on the right ricasso here, we have a serial number. On the left ricasso, we have our manufacturer's details, if I can get that to focus. So AET at the top, which is our manufacturer, flaming bomb and cross cannons, and then date of manufacture 1956. Keep in mind that this style of bayonet for the BM59 wasn't manufactured until 1959, so definitely an adapted M4. Then we have our US M8A1 on the front of the scabbard just here. And the only other marking which makes this distinct from like a US M7 is when you take the grips off, internally they've got mold numbers underneath. And I'll just chuck them up on the screen now and you can see what's in them, not too much, but they're not identical. Each one is one number apart. But that's this bayonet in a nutshell. I know I've already done a video on the BM59, but I felt like sort of the story of the AR70 and the bayonet that's sort of adapted to go with it, and slight refurbishment sort of deserved its own little video, so I thought I'd chuck this together. If you like the video, guys, please feel free to subscribe, drop a like, and if I've missed anything or made any mistakes, please feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear from you, and thanks for watching.